Today we're going to be talking about Fashionary. Let's get started, shall we? I've been wanting to do a video like this for a little while, talking about sort of tools that I use in designing and tools that I would recommend for beginner designers and just designers of all ranges. Because I do think that there are a lot of tools out there that help expedite the process of designing so that we can focus on designing rather than spending 20 extra minutes creating a croquis for no good reason. So today I want to talk about the brand Fashionary. If you haven't heard of Fashionary, Fashionary is behind creating a lot of fashion resource reference books. The specific books that I'm going to be talking about today are their sketchbooks. But let's turn that back a little bit and let's talk a little bit about Fashionary and their team. They were founded in 2008 and they have the best-selling fashion sketchbook. And it is actually a really great tool for all levels of designers. I know when I got into these, it was a little bit after I had already finished fashion school, and I actually find them extremely helpful. If you're curious about their name, it's essentially fashion plus dictionary plus diary, and that's Fashionary. They have sketchbooks, they have templates, they have history books of like sort of teaching you how to design for a specific thing, and also just giving you a little bit of history lessons on stuff. I'm on their website right now looking at all their items. They have their Fashionpedia, Textilepedia, the Fashion Business Manual, the Denim Manual. They have the poses for both men and women. They have bag designing. They have shoe designing. The lives of 50 fashion legends. So they do a lot of their sketchbooks that are a resource tool for designers, but they also do some stuff that are pretty good reads. I haven't purchased any of them, but I have a friend who told me about the Fashionpedia book and how they actually really enjoy it. And now I really want to get all these books and actually read through them and learn a bit, because you know this information is out there and readily accessible if you're willing and able to purchase it. So I say, why not? And one of the main reasons I specifically wanted to talk about this is because I actually for the past 2 years have been using Fashionary sketchbooks and wanted to give my opinion on these sketchbooks and sort of what I love about them, what I don't love about them, and whether I find them useful or not. So let's get into this, shall we? So I'm going to start off with the miniature one. This is the women's book. It's I forget what size it was. I don't even think this size is available anymore, but I will say this size is perfect for on the go. I don't know if they have it actually. Let me check their website. So these are the sketchbooks that I've owned. I've owned these for a while now. I think I've had them for maybe 2-3 years, and I really wanted to get full use out of them before I talk about them. I did just find out that I'm more than sure that they don't make these anymore. And that sucks because I actually think that this specific model is the best for on-the-go designing. Whenever I would say go on long trips or go over to a friend's houses for the weekend or like vacations, I would always take this specific book with me. This is my women's wear book. And the reason why I love this is, I mean, first of all, you can pretty much do whatever kind of like marker or like illustrating thing you want on them and they don't really bleed. But what I really loved about these books is in the beginning, there are references. It shows you different cuts and silhouettes, what patterns are gonna look like. It gives you little inspiration or little tutorial in a sense of like what different skirt lines and shapes would look like, so you're not necessarily just drawing in the dark. I love these as like a little reference guide because I've used it many times. Many times if I'm illustrating something, I'm like, a new collar silhouette, what do I want to, what am I feeling? Instead of looking in the internet, I just scroll to the index in the beginning and I look and I'm like, okay, I haven't done anything with a Mandarin collar. Let me do the Mandarin collar. And it honestly encourages some creative designing. I actually love this size and shape for on-the-go illustrating. It's really, really cool. It even gives you information on fashion trade shows, which is really, really cool. It gives you like how to measure a body, what a tech pack looks like, and it's pretty great. It even gives you like a calendar, sort of like scheduling thing if you want to use this as a scheduling to sort of help plan your workout and what that's supposed to look like. It's really, really cool. But of course, I'm sure you all want to just look through this with me. When I first got this, you know, some pretty basic designs, but as it goes through, like everything that I've pretty much drawn for this channel has been on here in different iterations, in different times, and different periods. I'll probably flip through this book in a little detailed video, but what do I like about it? I like the croquis present on this. if you can see, it's their pretty orange dotted outline of a woman's figure. And what I really like about this is you can immediately trace over it really quickly to create the body, but you can just immediately start sketching on this and then fill in the gaps where the body is to create a full sketch. That's how I created some of these other ones. What's a good one to showcase? That's sort of how I created these. I drew the clothing first, and then I filled in the body around the clothing, and it's even easier and moves much faster on this little sketchbook. These definitely, in my opinion, are the first step for designing and illustrating. This is where you idea dump. This is where you brain dump all the ideas that you have, and you just put them on a quick piece of paper, and then you can start more concisely coming up with it. Like, for example, my next in series, some of the looks are in here. Yeah, look, this is like my Met Gala look. This is my 1920s look. This is my 2-in-1 look. So many of the looks that I've illustrated on this channel are in here. This is the collaborations look. This is a rough draft for my Met Gala design for the Karl Lagerfeld Met Gala. A lot of my illustrations in here are for things that I work on in the current day and age. And it's so fun. I haven't even actually finished this book. I still have like maybe 3 or 4 pages left, front and back. I've gotten a lot of really good mileage out of it to the point where I would like to buy this book again, and I unfortunately can't. So that sucks, but this is the version of it that I like the most for on the go. The croquis are pretty small, so you can't put a lot of detail into them, but I illustrate with a lead pencil. 0.5 lead pencil to be exact, so I can actually get a lot of detail out on these books, and I enjoy this size very much. The second book I'm going to be talking about is the much bigger version, and this one I actually got in the men's sketchbook. So looking through it, the beginning of it is literally the same. They're showing you measurements of stuff, showing you different silhouettes and examples of things that you can use, giving you different print examples, different how to read wash labels, how sewing works. It's actually really, really informative. I spent a little while reading. And then what I like about this is the croquis are much bigger. They're definitely, this size book facilitates more detail designing because the croquis are much bigger, and I very much enjoy it. This one I filled up a lot less because I design menswear a lot less than I do women's wear, but just looking through it, I've gotten a lot of mileage out of these. A lot of my illustrations for my channel and just for personal projects I've worked on have gotten done on this. I think this size book feels better for actually designing, and this size book, I feel like the smaller book is the best for on the go illustrating, quick and easy brain dumping, whereas I feel like the bigger one is more deliberate designing, being able to sit down and actually illustrate what it is that the details are going to look like and what specifics, because you can put a lot more detail in just the difference of sizes. Like, look how much bigger this men's book is than this women's book. Nowadays, of course, I definitely want to try out the new sketchbooks. They have memo pads, and then they have just the sketchbook. There's the A4, which is pretty expensive. The A5, which is $20, and then the memo pad, which is $15. I definitely want to buy these one day and just try them out and have different experiences with them. But one of the best tools that I've actually had the best experience with are the poses for menswear and women's wear. And I do have both of them. These I bought because this was definitely, in my opinion, a way to up the game for designing. It's essentially a little like cardboard carrier that holds all of these cardstock illustrations. And you'll probably recognize them because these are what I use for my digital illustrations. And I use them for a lot of my hand illustrations because they're just really, really great poses to work off of. They come categorized. There's basic, casual, freedom, glamour, confidence, athletic, dramatic, lounging, maternity, plus size, portrait, and my favorite, which is actually very useful for a lot of illustrating and doing tech packs for clothing, technical. The technical croquis are some of my favorite because you can actually use them for drawing tech flats and getting some really interesting views. They have so many different poses, so many that you can actually like mix and match from. And the thing I love is this is her, right? You can see her elbow pointing to the right. You can also flip it over and the exact same illustrations on the other side but reflected. So you can get a little bit of variety between these poses. And they're so, so useful. I use these every time I'm illustrating, whether it be digitally or by hand. These have definitely upped the game for me and have actually helped speed up my designing process. Something I learned from one of my professors in college is why reinvent the wheel if it already works perfectly. And that's how I feel about these croquis. They work perfectly, so why spend your time drawing a croquis if you don't have to? And here's some men's ones. The men's ones are also pretty great. And the thing I like about these is there are plus size options, and there's even a maternity option in the women's wear one. They are very, very useful. Some of my favorites are 1 and 6 because it's just a front and a back, and you can get so much use out of this. But you can also put in a side view. You could put in, like 7 and 9 where they're walking. You could have a moment where it's like they're on the runway. Your croquis walking on the runway. And I really, really love that. You'll continue to see me use these because they're definitely very, very useful. And I've contemplated doing an illustration challenge where I illustrate a look with every single one of these croquis, and there's a lot of them, so that can definitely happen. These croquis and these sketchbooks have gotten a lot of mileage in my use, so I definitely recommend them. If you have the money and are curious about them, I would say purchase them. I think they're extremely useful for fashion students, but don't let them be a gateway for you to cut corners. Let them help enable your design process. Because I can still draw a croquis with clothing on it and it work out perfectly. I can still draw like that. But these have just helped me move my process so much faster and get more consistent illustrations. And that was my goal with using them and purchasing them, is being able to get consistent illustrations as well as being able to move this process of illustration faster and quicker so that I have more time to actually design and work on the clothing rather than spending the 10-20 minutes it takes to just draw a body. That's just my opinion on it. Especially with croquis that you can just download any one of them on the internet. They're very useful and they definitely do help expedite the process. But I definitely do every once in a while not use them and just go for a hand-drawn medium, because there's nothing better than just really feeling it out with hand-drawn medium if you are that person. These books and these croquis templates definitely help the designer that doesn't feel so secure in their drawing abilities. It helps push you forward and helps take away and alleviate a lot of the anxiety of like, well, I can't draw, but I am a good designer. So this helps with that, and I highly recommend them. Sucks that they no longer have those sketchbooks that I really love, but they have versions of it that I definitely am considering trying, as well as an app that I am considering trying, the Fashion Draw app. Let me know if that piques your interest, because I definitely am interested in it, that I might give it a try. With that, take care. It's been real. It's been fun. Don't forget to draw. Don't forget to be inspired. Don't forget to have fun. Bye!